Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here is your practice that we were working on today. For those of you who weren't able to sit with me, let's look at the first one. Remember, we're going to try to isolate the x squared. So in this case, we're going to add 14 to both sides, and you're left with 2x squared is equal to 14. Divide by 2. X squared is equal to 7. Once you have isolated the x squared, you're going to take the square root of both sides. You can get x equals plus or minus. Don't ever forget your plus or minus the square root of 7. So what that means is you have two answers. X is equal to the square root of 7, and x is equal to negative square root of 7. Okay? Step number 2. Here we're going to isolate the x squared, so we're going to add 16 to both sides. X squared equals 16. Square root on both sides, I get x equals plus or minus. Remember, the square root of 16 is 4. So that means x is equal to 4, and x is equal to negative 4. Now remember, what we're solving for is these are basically my roots. So if I were to graph this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, those would be my roots. Okay? All right, now, on this particular one, this is going to set up number 4. So on this particular, remember, what are the factors of 25 that add to give 10? Well, this is x plus 5, x plus 5. And so you get x plus 5 squared is equal to 0. Take the square root of both sides, and x plus 5 equals, no, you can't have, the square root of 0 is just 0. So we're going to subtract 5 from both sides, and x is equal to negative 5. So again, on a graph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you'd have a root right there. Okay? Now, let's look at number 4. This is the same as number 3. All right, this is the same number 3. So notice that x squared plus 10x plus 25 is actually x plus 5 squared. So save a little time. This is actually x plus 5 squared. All right? Now, what we're going to do now is I'm going to take the square root of both sides, and I get x plus 5 equals. Now, I can't take the square root of 27, so we just leave it as is. So plus or minus the square root of 27. I'm going to write two equations. X plus 5 is equal to the square root of 27, and x plus 5 is equal to negative square root of 27. And I'm going to solve for x. So minus 5 minus 5. Now this simply just falls in front right there. Okay, so negative 5 plus the square root of 27. All right, notice it's not times, so don't put negative 5 square root of 27. So here, minus 5 minus 5, x is equal to negative 5 minus the square root of 27. Okay? Now you could have written this as the square root of 27 minus 5. I don't mind that. Or the square root of 27, negative square root of 27 minus 5 is either. So either one of those would have been suffice. I just typically write the radical sign towards the back. Number 5. Now this is already squared, so we're going to take the square root of both sides, and I get x minus 2 equals. Now remember, the square root of 16 is a plus or minus 4. Again, two equations. X minus 2 equals positive 4. X minus 2 equals negative 4. I'm going to add the 2 to both sides. X is equal to 6. Add the 2 to both sides. X is equal to negative 2. So again, on a graph, 1, 2, there's a root. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's another root. Okay? Same thing on here. Square root of both sides. X minus 3 equals. Now, this is just like number 4. Plus or minus root 5. I can't take root 5. So I'm going to do x minus 3 equals root 5, and x minus 3 equals a negative root 5. I'm going to add the 3 to both sides. I get x equals 3 root 3 plus, there's my mistake, x plus, here let me rewrite that a little bit with I think I can put a little white out on that. So let's go ahead and rewrite that. I don't like how that looks too well. Alright, so that's going to be 3 plus root 5. That looks better. And then again, plus 3, x equals 3 minus root 5. All right, So you're going to take this, make sure you understand how to do it, and you're going to incorporate that on the back side. So you have four problems to work. So you're going to take the square root of both sides or factor, whatever you got to do. And then down here, you need to attempt to complete the square. Which one of them has an error, and you need to explain it. Thank you very much, and that is today's lesson.